Are we having a ABH moment right over here? Yeah, I think so. It's definitely very powdery, you guys. So. Hey guys, hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Shamvi and I create beauty and makeup related content. If that's something that interests you, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. So coming to the video, guys, I'm gonna be reviewing the brand new launch by K Beauty. I know K Beauty is on a roll nowadays. They have been launching back to back. So just recently, 2 weeks back, they launched a foundation. I also have the review on the foundation as well. So in case you guys are interested, you can go and watch that. I'm going to link it right over here. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the new K Beauty eyeshadow palettes. Before jumping to the video, I have to say this, that I have like not even swatched them, like I have not used them on my eyes, but still there are like some things that really put me off, which I'm going to be discussing further like later in the video. And also, just a disclaimer, this is not a hateful video or anything. I am here to give you like my 100% honest thoughts as a beauty influencer, because I've been trying out so many makeup products, so I think I have some knowledge about makeup and how they perform and all of that. So anyways, coming to the video, again, this is going to be a very detailed review. So first, we're going to talk about the description and the packaging of the product, what it has to offer and all of that. Then I'm going to give you the swatches of the palette, and then I'm going to give you the demo of the product. That is, I'm going to apply the eyeshadows, and I'm going to show you live like how the eyeshadows perform and how they look. And then I'm going to talk about the similar products or dupes that are available in the market. And then we're going to talk about all the pros and cons of the product and my final thoughts. So it's going to be a complete, like a full detailed review. Okay guys, so this is how the packaging comes in. It looks like a pretty bulky box, but this is just the outer packaging and this is how it looks. And also I did take the vote on which palette I should go with, and most of you voted for these two palettes, and that's why I went ahead and I got both the palettes now. So I'm just going to show you one palette, which is the Pure Bloom palette. Okay, so this is how the outer packaging looks like. It's a cardboard, like, or a paper cardboard kind of a packaging, and I really like the illustration right over here. I don't know, there's something about this which gives off like a girly feminine energy, and it's very calming, and the illustration is really cute, so I really like it. And behind, this is how it looks. So they have mentioned eye canvas eyeshadow palette Pure Bloom, and they say enriched with macadamia nut oil and aloe vera, artfully curated palette of matte and metallic peachy shades to capture the magic of sun-kissed glow. And they've also given like a step-by-step of how to achieve an eye look. If you're a beginner and if you don't know anything about makeup, then this can be a little helpful. And then right over here, they've mentioned like where it is packaged, manufacturing, import, customer care, and all of that. And also it says it has a shelf life of 3 years. So that's for the packaging. And coming to the box, you guys, again, the reason why this is so bulky is because again it comes with a foam, like a protective foam, so that your eyeshadow palette will not be destroyed while transportation, because that can easily happen, especially with eyeshadow palettes. It can easily break. So that's a pretty smart thing to add, so that your eyeshadows will be safe in here. So packaging wise, they've done a great job, because look at this. Let me show you. This is the outer box packaging. Okay, so this is the palette. Again, the same thing. Again, here back you have the same thing. Again, when you open, again, this is how the eyeshadow palette looks like. Okay, so here you have all of the shades, and you also get this plastic flip to protect your eyeshadows from transferring onto the mirror. So that's for the packaging, guys, and I think this is very convenient to travel as well, because it's a cardboard, like a paper packaging. So it's pretty easy to fit in your makeup bag, because it's not too big nor it's like too small. It's the right size. Now coming to the description, let me read out like what they say about this eyeshadow palette. They say it's a 9-in-1 palette, matte and shimmer shades, intense color payoff, silky and ultra fine particles, blendable and buildable formula, smudge proof and transfer proof, lightweight and second skin feel, all day comfortable wear. Coming to the ingredients, they say Katrina's Care ingredients. Macadamia nut oil is a lightweight moisturizing oil that softens the skin without making it feel greasy. And then they also say it has aloe vera oil, which locks in moisture and forms a firm hydrated canvas for easy eyeshadow application. K-Beauty is a cruelty-free, paraben-free, paraffin-free, mineral oil-free, and it's a dermatologically tested brand. So now let's see the swatches of both the eyeshadow palettes. So first, let's start off with the Pure Bloom eyeshadow palette. As I said, this is how the packaging of the palette looks like. I absolutely love it, and also even the color tones of the palette is really good. It's not something which is very unique, let me tell you that, because we have seen these kind of shades before as well. All of them are a very like neutral and shades that you can pretty much use on everyday basis, and shades that people would normally go for. So but anyways, now coming to the swatches, this is how the swatches look like. I have to say this, that again, with the swatches as well, I had to go in with 2 to 3 times to get this kind of pigmentation, the pigmentation that you're seeing right now. And I wouldn't say like it's one swipe full pigment, except the one metallic shade which is called as sequin in the palette. This shade is extremely pigmented, and oh my god, this is like that like one swipe full pigment kind of a shade. Sometimes like hand swatches are not the best way in describing how the product performs, because some of the eyeshadow palettes, they perform really well on the eyes but they don't swatch well, so it still has some hope, I think. So yeah, let's wait on that. Okay guys, now next, coming to the Self Love palette, this is how it looks like. So you get mostly rosy berry kind of shades in here. All the shades that are available in this palettes are pretty much like wearable shades. Then nothing is like out of the box or something very very different. This is how the palette Self Love looks like. The swatches are here. Now I have to say this, that this palette Self Love, the swatches of them perform much better compared to the Pure Bloom palette. Also guys, these eyeshadow palettes are like buttery soft to the touch. Again, the shade Sangria in this swatched really well compared to all the other shades. They have not given a lot of metallic options as well. It's only one metallic shade in each of the palette, and the other shades are shimmery shades. They're not metallic. Metallic are something which has that really nice like pop of color. So that's for the swatches. I hope it was helpful. Now let's talk about the real deal over here. Okay, and most of you also wanted me to compare these eyeshadow palettes with Swiss Beauty or any other like affordable eyeshadow palette in the market. So that's why I have not used Swiss Beauty like 9-pan eyeshadow palette. I have not tried them. I have one, but I have not like tried it out, so I don't know anything about how it performs and stuff. But I have this one, which is the Nika K eyeshadow palette, as you all can see. Now this eyeshadow palette performs extremely well. I already have a video up on my channel. If you guys are interested, you can go and watch it. But only one downside to this palette is that it has a lot of fallout, especially the matte shades go everywhere. They're very powdery. This eyeshadow palette is priced at rupees 500, but you'll always like find it in offer for about 350 to 400 rupees, again, which is super duper affordable. I still have other palettes like in the same range. I'm gonna share with you like the other dupes and everything later on in the video, but I just wanted to like compare with this one because again, this is again a 9 pan eyeshadow palette. Now first thing I have to pinpoint right over here is K-Beauty eyeshadow palettes. These are manufactured in China. So there was like a lot of controversy, like even last year so many people have banned made in China products, and they've stopped purchasing like made in China products. So for some of you, I think this information would be useful. Now coming to the business point of view, I can see why they got it manufactured in China, because if you get manufactured anywhere else in the world, the cost of the palette would be too much. And I have seen so many brands, like even the this brand which is Nika K is a US brand, but it's still this is also manufactured in China. Again, this is a business, and probably they wanted to cut down on the cost, so that's the reason, or they got manufactured from China. So anyways, I know some people would be concerned about that, so I just wanted to put it out there. That is not the main issue right over here. Okay, the main issue is that I thought, since both of them have got like manufactured in China, and one is available only for like 500 rupees and this one is for 1200 rupees, I just wanted to like see and check like why we are paying 1200 rupees for this palette, like just to justify the price that we are paying. So that's why I wanted to check on the ingredient list. Now let me tell you one thing, I checked for the ingredient list on the website. I went on Nykaa, I checked on the website. the ingredient list is not mentioned anywhere on the website, and also they have 3 packaging as I already showed you. They have not given any like the ingredient list or anything. They only said this is like enriched with macadamia nut oil and aloe vera, and that's it. Like they have not given any ingredient list. Like normally I don't check that much of like ingredient list because I don't know, it just goes above my head. So I only check for those ingredients that are like harmful, or people say that you have to stay away from so and so ingredients. I only check for them. Now the one time I wanted to see the ingredient list, there is no ingredient list available like anywhere. Oh no! This is the size difference, okay? And you guys might think that, oh, because this is bigger, that it contains a lot of product. You're wrong. You're wrong, because this only contains 10 grams of product and this contains 11.7 grams of product. I know, right? Like even I was like shocked when I saw this. Each pan size consists of 1.1 gram of product in here, and in Nikake you're getting 1.3 grams of product, so which is 0.2 grams more. So you're getting more in this one and it is costing you less. Okay guys, so now let's start off with the demo and application part. Okay guys, so for the demo part, I decided that on one side I'm going to use the Pure Bloom eyeshadow palette. On the other side I'm going to use the Self Love palette. So that way you will see both of them, both of the swatches, and I can give you like a complete review. So first I'm going to be taking Pure Bloom eyeshadow palette. I mean, this palette has such beautiful like soft tones to it, and probably if you come under like fair to medium skin tones, this will really flatter you so much. Yeah, first I'm going to take the shade Biscuit and I'll start applying this in my crease. So let me zoom a little more closer. And also guys, I did use some concealer to cover up my darkness, because that's something I do all the time before my eyeshadow application. So I just wanted to like let you all know. Now, okay, so can you see like there's a lot of fallout. It is definitely very powdery. Oh my god, it's so powdery. Can you see? Are we having a ABH moment right over here? Yeah, I think so. It's definitely very powdery, you guys. Oh my god, this is, look at that, this is a lot. This is very powdery. It's leaving a lot of kickback in the pan. And pigmentation wise, I think the color is too light for me. I don't know, but it's not showing as much. But so this is how the shade Biscuit looks like. The reason why it's not showing that much is because of my skin tone. It's very close by to my skin tone, so that can be the reason why it's not as it's not as evident. So next I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Spice, the orange sort of a shade, and I'll start using this again in my crease, outer V and my crease, because the first shade like didn't show up at all. The first one also blended out very well, and even this is blending out really well. This is like blending out so easily, and yeah, the pigmentation is so good. Back to the initial brush, and I'll start blending the edges a little. Next I'm gonna be taking this one, which is called as Brick. It kind of looks like a brown shade. So again, I'm gonna take this one. Now my brushes might look dirty, but I did like dry clean them. Can you see the fallout? Like it has a lot of fallout or kickback in the pan. Look at that. Whoa. So I'm going to use this to further deepen my crease, my outer corner. Everything is just like blending into one, right? Yeah, it's not showing up like completely, and I'm literally taking so much of the product. I'm not even kidding you. So I think the brown shade didn't perform as well as I imagined it to be. And now I'm gonna take this shade, which is called as Coral, and I'm going to use that on lash or lower waterline. Wow, this is really nice. The pigment on this one is very good. Well, so next I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Peach, and I will use my finger to apply. Can you see that? There is no, like, pigment at all. It's not that kind of like a shimmery shade. Yeah, it's very subtle. It has a very subtle sheen to it. Next, I'm gonna take this shade, which is called as Crimson. Again, this is again like a shimmery shade. So I'm going to use it like over here. It is a little popping compared to the shade Peach. So lastly, I'm just going to take this shade right over here, which is a metallic shade. It's called as Sequin. And again, using my finger, I'm just going to apply it. Now this one, wow, this is performing so well. Look at that. So I'm not gonna wet the eyeshadows because what's the point in that, right? Like, so I'm not gonna wet them. I'm just going to use, like, I'm going to take on the inner part of the eye. Now this is the brush that I use for all of my shimmery metallic shades to place them on my lids. So I'm gonna use the same brush. Look at that. This is how the brush application looks like. It looks good, but I think the finger, application of a finger makes it more pop. Can you see that? This shade is so pretty. And lastly, guys, I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Sequin. It's kind of like a pinky coral, sort of a shade. And again, this is a shimmery shade. It gives a nice pop. So I'm just going to use it in my inner corners. And I'm also going to take this a little on my lower lash line. Just right about there. Again, it doesn't have that much, it's not as metallic or as pop as this particular shade, the shade Sequin, but it's still a beautiful shade though. So that's how the palette Pure Bloom looks like. I used almost all of the shades right over here except the shade Sand. This is the shade that I didn't use because I know this wouldn't show up on my skin tone. This side, I'm going to be taking the Self-Love palette, and this is how it looks like. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Again, the illustration is so nice and girly, and it's a very rosy berry kind of a palette. I'm going to start off with this shade, which is called as Blush. It's sort of like a blush pink color. Again, it's not pigmented enough. Like, I'm not getting that kind of a pigmentation in one application, and I definitely took a lot of product now. And look at all the fallout, you guys. There's so much of fallout from this shade as well. I did clean the mess, and that's how the shade Blush looks like. It's still not as pigmented as I want it to be. So next, I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Rose. I'll start building. Oh wow, this one, the pigmentation is so good, right? Look at that one. Yeah, you can see the color so well. And again, this particular shade doesn't have that much of fallout compared to the other shades that I used previously, and it's also blending out really well. So next, I think I'm gonna take this one, which is called as Rustic. It's a really nice, like a brown, like a deep brown shade. So I'll first place it and then I'll start blending. Again, this has a lot of kickback, but you know what, like, this color is actually showing up. And now I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Raisin. Lastly, I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Mocha. I'm going to apply this again to, like, deepen my crease further. Look at that. Again, this is such a nice shade. I'm gonna go back to that rose shade because with all this blending, the pink shade has kind of gone. So I'm gonna take this Raisin shade and I'll use it in my lower, like the lash line. And I'll also use a little bit of that rose shade. So now I'm taking the same brush, guys. Like, don't worry, I did, clean it up. So I'm gonna take this shade, which is called as Berry. This particular shade. Use my brush first. We'll see how it performs with the brush, and then I'm going to apply the same shade, with my finger, and also show you the swatch. So, like, it has a very light like sheen to it. That's how it looks like with my finger application. Definitely gives a lot more of pigment if you use your fingers compared to a brush. Anyways, now lastly I'm going to be using this one. I have high hopes for this one. This is a metallic shade. It's the only metallic shade in the palette, and it's the shade called as Sangria. Again, I'm going to first use this one with my brush. We'll see how it looks. I'm just going to use my finger to apply, and look at that. Wow, pop of color now. Whoa, look at that, you guys. Now I think it looks really pretty. So next I'm going to take this one, which is called as Petal, and I'm just going to use this one in my inner corners. And I'm also going to apply it on my, like the lower part of my eyes. Guys, so I'm just gonna come closer so you guys can see clearly how my eyeshadows look like. Hey guys, so this is how my eyes look like. Again guys, I did use all the shades from this palette except this particular shade, which is called as Ginger. The three shades, which is the shade Rose, Raisin, this one, and this shade, which is called as Mocha. All the three shades didn't have that much of a fallout. Now the shade Rustic and Blush had a lot of fallout. So the stain mark right over here, there's a stain mark here. So like even if I wipe, it's not, I don't think it would go. Yeah. So yeah guys, this palette will get dirty very easily because the shades are very, very powdery. They have a lot of kickback in the pan. Definitely I think the Self Love palette did really well compared to the Pure Bloom one. So yeah guys, that's for my demo. So I'm not going to do anything much. I'm just going to apply some mascara and lipstick, and I'll be right back. Now coming to the D word, you guys. I mean dupes. What do you guys think? Oops. Oh my god, you guys are so nasty, I'm telling you. Dupes. Now I have some of the eyeshadow palettes right over here that I think are close dupes, or that come under the same price point. Now the first one is of course the Swiss Beauty Ultimate Eyeshadow Palette. A lot of people love this eyeshadow palette. This is for what, 250 or 300 rupees, something like that. Now even though I have this palette, I haven't tried it out yet, but I did swatch a couple of shades and they all look so promising. I think it's a really good dupe. They have so many different color tones, color palettes, so you can definitely go ahead and try them out. And then we have this Folklore eyeshadow palette. Again, it comes in the same price range, around 1200 or 1300 rupees. Now again guys, this eyeshadow palette, it is a cardboard packaging. It comes with a mirror, and this has 16 shades, 16 different shades. Okay, you get a shimmery shade, you get a glitter as well, you get so many different metallic shades. It's really good. Again, I love this and I highly recommend. Another dupe is of course Nikake. Again, they have so many different color palettes, and you guys will see the difference between them. First I'm going to take this shade, which is called as Sangria, and I'm just going to, I've taken a lot of amount. Okay, look at that. And I'm also going to take this color, which looks very similar to the shade Sangria. So yeah, I'm going to take these two shades, and I've taken the same amount. Okay, and I'll swatch right over here. They both look almost the same. You get around 4 metallic shades in this palette, and it's only for 500 rupees, and in an offer you'll find it for 350 rupees. So what more can you ask? So the last and definitely my most favorite eyeshadow palettes are these. So I have two palettes from iMagic. This one is the original one, and this one is called as Here I Am eyeshadow palette. Now I love both the palettes so much. They perform so good. Again, it's a cardboard packaging. They come with a mirror. Again, you guys, you get 16 shades in here as well. The pigmentation is so amazing. Both mattes, metallics and shimmers perform so good. So yeah, I highly recommend this one. Again, these palettes, each cost you around 1200 rupees, and you'll always find it on sale for around 999. These two palettes are my most used and my most loved palettes of all time. So yeah, you guys, those were some of the dupes of eyeshadow palettes that you can buy around the same price point. Now coming to my review, you guys, let's talk about all the pros of the palette first. So the pros is definitely, first pro is, I would give a huge thumbs up to the packaging. I haven't seen this kind of packaging in the Indian market. And also coming to another pro, you guys, now the metallics performed really well, so that is another pro. And now coming to the cons, let's talk about cons because I think I have a lot of them. First biggest con is of course the price point. I think 1200 rupees for just 10 grams of product is too much, and also considering that this was manufactured in China, like the other affordable palettes that I showed you, it doesn't justify like why these palettes are costly compared to the other palettes that I showed you. And second one is they have not listed the ingredient list. They only said that it contains some macadamia oil and aloe vera gel. So other than that, they have not mentioned anything about the ingredients, so which is, I think is kind of sketchy according to me. So yeah, that is again the second major con. The third one is the quality of the palette. It's not as good. It didn't perform that great, especially with the Pure Bloom eyeshadow palette. I didn't like it at all. I know a lot of you were interested in this Pure Bloom palette, but this didn't perform as well. It had a lot of kickback, and also shimmers, oh my god. And again, another con is that the shimmers don't perform as good. They don't have that much of a pigment. They're very they have a very light sheen to them. I think that's it, you guys. So that's for my pros and cons. So definitely there are a lot of cons compared to pros. Yeah, all in all, I think the quality of this eyeshadow palettes, they are buttery smooth. They blended out really well, and some of the shades performed really good, but most of them didn't. And also, guys, coming to the shade tone or the the color tone of the palette as well, it's not something very unique or something that you haven't seen before. These are all the color tones that you have already seen in so many different launches, like makeup launches. So again, the color palette also didn't excite me that much, but I was actually looking for the quality of the product. I thought it would be amazing, it would be exceptionally good, but it's not. And I think for the price that we are paying and the amount that we're getting and the quality, I don't think it's worth 1200 rupees. So I'm not bashing anyone. Just because I didn't like this palette doesn't mean I hate K-Beauty as a brand. No, that's not the case. I do have a lot of products from K-Beauty. I enjoy using them, and even this palette as well, I will definitely use it. It's not a bad palette, as I mentioned already. I don't think this the quality justifies for the price. That's all I'm saying. But in future, again, you will see me using this palette. So don't come attack me and saying that, oh my god, so that day you said it is not worth it and why are you using and all of that. K-Beauty in itself is a really good brand, so I'll definitely continue buying their products. And even if they launch something in future as well, I will definitely go ahead and buy it, and I'll review it for you guys, because I know most of us are interested in K-Beauty and they're doing so great compared to so many Indian brands. I think they're doing exceptionally great. But this particular launch was not the best according to me. So that pretty much completes today's video. I hope this video was really helpful for you all. And yeah, please do subscribe to my channel and also watch my other videos. Yeah, I post such good content on my channel, so definitely go ahead and watch them. I'll catch you all next time with another interesting one. Until then, you all know the drill. Keep slaying. Bye guys.